everybody, what is going on? Welcome to the Alex Cuesta Show. Hello, everybody out there. I'm that guy on the title, Alex Cuesta. Hi, how are you? How you doing? Dave, hi, how are you? How you doing?
I'm okay. I'm all right.
Just okay.
Yeah, I've been tired lately. I've been very tired.
Well, you were ill, so that stopped us from doing the show yesterday because today is Thursday, August 4th of 2022, not Wednesday. And before me and Dave continue to talk anymore, like, share, follow, subscribe, rate us 5 stars on Spotify and iTunes. Spread this word of mouth. Go find us on these socials at the Alex Cuesta Show. So continuing, again, Dave, you have not been feeling well. You didn't have the COVID, though, so that's nice. You just had regular illnesses, just feeling a little down in the dumps.
That's what it seems like. I don't know.
You're very conversational. It's going to go very well for an audio-only show.
I was just dying, so.
So we have a show ahead of you that if anybody... So I have to say with this real quick. We were supposed to have a guest again this week. It has not been able to work out. We promise next week we will have this guest on. We are both really excited to have this individual on. And I texted this person and they're like, no, damn it, we're doing the show next week. So it's going to be, we're going to have a guest. It's going to be a good guest. People should like it. I'll just give everyone a hint. It's going to be a basketball heavy show. So if anyone wants to listen to some quality NBA content, somebody that knows their players, knows their trades, knows all the free agency stuff, we are going to talk to them. It's going to be a good time. But today we are going to talk about wokeism. Yay, everybody. Yay. But before we get into that, Dave and I have been a little bit iffy about talking about the Brittany Griner situation before anything was done, because up until today, she was kind of in limbo. She was over there. So anyone doesn't know, Brittany Griner had a weed cartridge. People are trying to claim it's hashish. It's not hashish. Hash doesn't come in the cartridges that she was captured having. It was a cannabis cartridge used to get high. She had that in her bag. It is a felony in Russia to have that. And she was over there playing and she got caught with it by the authorities. They arrested her. Now, whether or not you want to consider her a high-profile American or not, I know people will be like, no, it's not high-profile. W1, blah, 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 blah. She's still a professional athlete from America. People know who Brittany Griner is. Anyone that watched ESPN for any point of last decade knows who Brittany Griner is. So it's not like she's a nobody. Russia knows she's not a nobody. So they were able to detain a fairly well-known American, and they are going to do that to the max. Now, it came down today that she was sentenced to 9.5 years in prison for this. A lot of people in America are calling it an outrage. They've been wanting to have Brittany Griner come home by any means necessary. And Dave, it really seems like it's about to be a genuinely uphill battle now for Brittany Griner to get out of Russia and get home anytime soon.
I almost kind of feel like some of the stuff that was going on here kind of made it even more of an uphill battle. Because, yeah, Russia knew that, she's a sports star. But if you didn't act like it was a genuine national security threat, then they probably don't push this as far as they did, as they are, I should say. Because since everyone's talking about it all the time they're talking about it. Russia's looking at that like, oh, we can get almost whoever we want if they actually want to trade. So why wouldn't they do that? So I almost feel like we kind of made it worse. But overall, I mean, listen, she got caught breaking the law. So something was going to happen to her either way, which is unfortunate. But 9 years, obviously, that seems like way too much, especially for how we think. Maybe not for how Russia thinks. I don't know how they hammer down on those laws over there naturally. I really don't. So really, this could be just the term that they always give people. I kind of doubt it, mainly because I think they are playing games a little bit. But it's not a good situation, and I don't think she deserves to be in that specific situation because of what she did. I mean, I wouldn't blame Russia for punishing her in some way, but 9 years, I don't I don't think that's appropriate to put it in the nicest way possible.
And currently, in typical American fashion, you have both. There's sides. Everyone now has to absolutely pick a side, and it doesn't matter what topic it is. There are sides. There is no more nuance. There's no more in the middle, and you have either your people who are in, it's unfortunate. It actually absolutely split down the political aisle, which shows us how fucked we are as a country, that we are taking every single little thing and splitting it down politically, where you have your people on the left that are just unabashed, bring Brittany Griner home. It doesn't matter what happened. Doesn't matter what she did. Who cares if she broke the law? I don't care what it takes. Get her home. And there's that whole rallying cry, hashtags, empty threats to Russia that the people are going to break in and go get her. Like, go fucking do that. Please try. You morons. And then there's also the other side, which isn't much better, which is, well, she broke the law, so she's, throw the book at her, keep her there. She doesn't like America, so she's not allowed to come back type of people. And I hate to break it to all of you, but you're both stupid and you're both kind of wrong, because there is nuance to this. We spoke earlier, Dave, and it's like people have forgotten that multiple things about something can be true. Right, Dave? Like, you can have, obviously, she broke the law in Russia. Whether or not she knew the law in Russia or not is on her. If she didn't know, that's a problem. Because if you're an American going into hostile territory, whether you're a celebrity or not, you should know the laws. If you're going into a combative territory, Russia's not our friend. Whether or not you're playing basketball in a Russian league, they're not our friends. They don't like Americans. They will do it, like Dave said. They have a semi-high profile one we made a big deal out of. They're going to do what they want, make it as public as possible. Mm-hmm. So it's up to you as an American or in any country to know the law of that land. So whether she knew it or not. So one, is it true that she broke the law? Yes. Should she have known the law and knew what she was doing was right or wrong? Yes. Is she still a moron for trying to transfer drugs into their international lines? Absolutely. You're stupid. That's just, again, we feel differently about weed. Like, weed's not a drug. Sorry, assholes. It's still a drug, and it's not going to stop being a drug even if it gets legalized. I'm drinking a beer right now. This is still a drug, technically. Beer is not great for you. Alcohol is really, in small doses, it's semi-medicinal. But the way we consume it now, it's not. So there's those things. So those all can be true. What else can be true is she's an American citizen. And I don't want any American citizen to be detained for an extended period of time anywhere, especially in hostile territory. If you're one of those people that is sitting there and just because she said disparaging things about the country and you're like, oh, well, she should stay away. No, you're an idiot. She's still an American citizen. We still should protect our own. Whether they're idiots or not, we should be more protective about our own. So, yes, no one wants an American citizen detained less than I do. But let's go to the other side. I'm also not willing to trade a national security asset to bring her home. I'm not willing to trade a guy nicknamed the Merchant of Death to bring her home. And just because they're trying to sweeten the deal by getting an obvious Interpol agent spy to come back with her, I'm sorry. I'm not willing to trade that for Brittany Griner. Now, do I think the embassy should be on Russia's ass? Yes. Do I think our ambassador to Russia should be in the Kremlin every single day demanding justice? Without a doubt. Without a doubt. They should be doing everything they can diplomatically to help Brittany Griner out. Should we go to war for Brittany fucking Griner? Hell no. Hell no. That's just the bottom line. I think we should do everything we can for any American that is caught behind enemy lines. Now, if Russia starts torturing her, if they start really fucking with her, then Russia drew the line there. They then created the true hostilities, and then America has a choice to make because that's an American citizen. But if they're just detaining her, if they're treating her fairly well in prison as far as prisoners go, then we do everything diplomatically for her. I don't know what else people want. And again, there's these moron celebrities going, I'm going to fly my jet and break Brittany Griner out. Please, because you're stupid too. Please go and let Russia detain you too. Like, I wouldn't, I would want you to hang out there and take a Russian vacation in their prison for a little while for trying that, for being an idiot. But, I mean, there's nothing else really to say about the Brittany Griner situation. It is a shitty situation. Joe Rogan has been really ringing the bell about, weed laws in America and how we should be re-examining our drug laws. I want to say the difference is, I think, Trump did a really good job getting out a lot of nonviolent drug offenders, especially people with minor weed offenses. Trump got out a ton of those individuals. He pardoned a bunch of them. What we should be looking at, I still think if you have a possessed amount if it falls under the intent to sell amount, I still think you should get something because it's not legal yet everywhere. You're still a drug dealer. And a lot of that times that is getting into hands of kids. I was one of those kids that used to smoke weed. So it's like, it is getting into the hands of high school kids and even middle school kids. But if you're just smoking a little bit, no, you shouldn't be put in a prison. So that's really where I go. Dave, do you have anything else to say? Because that's kind of, we need to remember there's nuance with this. And I hate the fact that we pick sides for everything. It's so stupid.
What do you mean? That's the fun part now.
Keep the peons divided while the wealthy all bump fists. Hey, did you donate to Hillary this week? No, I just gave to Trump because, I figured he'd help me out. Oh, you're going to donate to Bernie, though, too? Yeah, I'll donate to Bernie. These fucking rich people don't care. They keep us arguing. It's terrible. Dave, I want you to segue into the next terrible topic that we're going to talk about. That's going to probably take up the rest of the show here.
So the next fun topic we have to talk about, which is really just in a lineage of things that we've talked about that seems to be getting ruined or at least not being as good as what they once were in a franchise. GTA 6, some stuff has come out about it. The release date is still not really set. They're hoping for like 2024, but you know how things go now with publishers and
no deadlines.
They can't actually make a game, and when they do eventually put it out, it's as buggy as it could possibly be, so they have to patch it because they thought too big. But I'm not gonna go on with that. The issue is that what's come out about GTA 6, a lot of people are hammering on about apparently there is a female lead in this one for like a Bonnie and Clyde kind of story. And I have seen a bunch of things about the female lead. Especially some people are trying to make fun of it, like, oh, people are mad that there's a female lead in GTA. I mean, at least that's not what I was mad about when I saw it came out about GTA 6. I really couldn't care less about her. But what I was upset about was their take on what they believe was misogyny in past games and racism and sexism in past games and punching down, in quotes, in past games on minorities and the way they treated people. And the thing is all of that is correct about what was in past games because that's what was supposed to be in past games. The whole point of Grand Theft Auto is to show and satirize the dregs of society in the city. That's the whole point of Grand Theft Auto. In fact, you could possibly get it out of the name Grand Theft Auto. The game's name kind of tells you what it's going to be. So you're having a lot of people come out and get angry now about what's come out about GTA 6. And you have a lot of people defending it and saying that, this is a good thing because they're getting rid of all of these jokes that could hurt people and these things that could hurt people. And it's funny to me because for me, this sounds so much like all of those parents that didn't understand, and when Grand Theft Auto 3 was out and Vice City was out and San Andreas was out, where they're saying, oh, but it's teaching kids to kill. It's desensitizing them from violence. It's making it seem like they don't have to care about people and they could just kill them. It is the exact same frame of mind of going about how you're looking at this game. And it's just funny to me to watch this happen now on a completely other side, but for the same exact reason, wanting to control what you think people should actually play and should actually do with their time. When, I mean, listen, apparently Rockstar went through a whole shift. I don't know everything that happened there. I don't know if they were actually abusing their devs, because I have heard it kind of sucks as a dev in almost any company. So it could have been a big deal. Like I said, I don't know very much, but I know they had a cultural shift. Apparently people like it, but that's also the beginning of a cultural shift. Most of the time you don't hear people bad talk any shift immediately after it happens. That comes out years down the line. So listen, Rockstar can do what it wants. It can put GTA 6 out like this, but every single person that loves Grand Theft Auto for what it is. And I mean, it became much more of a game that contained a story. And I'm not going to lie, I didn't play GTA 5. I played GTA 4. GTA 4 is probably my favorite one, other than maybe Vice City or San Andreas. And it had a fantastic story with Nico and the reason he comes to the city, his cousin, and everything that happens throughout that game. But yet again, Nico is not a good person. Nico is never meant to be a good. Nico is trying to redeem himself a bit, but he's not. He knows he's not a good person. That's why he's redeeming himself. That's why he's still getting caught up in all of this nonsense in the city. And all of the worst people in the city, most of the worst people in the city, the girlfriend he finds is actually a good person. That's why he wants to keep her around. But Grand Theft Auto is about bringing you into the worst of the city.
And you said it in the best way. They began really, the story to me kind of didn't really take off until San Andreas. Even Vice City, Tommy Vercetti got a name. He didn't have a name in the third one. The first next generation Grand Theft Auto, because I've played all of them. I didn't play 5 either. So maybe maybe it got more woke. I doubt it, because of what I knew about Grand Theft Auto 5, that the replayable characters you can be. And I've seen gameplay and it's not woke. It's very similar to what we've always had, but not playing it. Maybe Dave, we need to go back and play it and get a revisionist. Maybe we need to do that. But yeah. I've been playing it since it was on the PlayStation, when it was a vertical view and you were looking top down. Mm-hmm. And it always had a semi-story. In those original ones, you're completing jobs to gain respect in order to get crews bigger. So it's not necessarily a linear story, but you have objectives and missions you need to hit. It doesn't get into more of a quote-unquote story-ish until 3. And in 3, you're an Italian kid that doesn't speak, and you're just doing jobs for the mob. You are a hitman. You're not redeemed. You're not a good guy at all. You're a fucking hitman. And what did a lot of people play that game for? You played the missions. It was fun, because if you're a gamer, you'll want to complete the story. It's just kind of an OCD. It's what we do. But the story was a sidebar. What did you do? You killed everybody. You shot cool guns. You used cheats to make yourself essentially invisible. You got up as many stars as you could to have the fucking army come after you. And you also took prostitutes, banged her in the car, and then killed them to get your money back. That was the fun part of Grand Theft Auto 3. That was it. Then Vice City comes out. You figure out more about this character. It's the same character. It's Tommy Vercetti. He has a name now. Still a mob guy. And now he's trying to essentially become Scarface. The whole story of Vice City is basically him becoming Scarface. It's not even a satire. You're just as fucked up as the Scarface movies. You're killing people. You're breaking bones. You're doing what you need to do to get ahead, sell the most drugs in the city, and become a big crime boss. That is the goal of Vice City. So right there, you have 2 straight games where you're not redeeming shit about the character. You're cheering for him because it's your character, and you're going up against other dirtbags who you eventually become, you notice they're worse than you. You're not willing to do some things. Tommy Vercetti has some sort of a conscience. Not really. But again, what's the fun of that game? You're now killing people in a new place. And you get to fly a stupid fucking plane that can barely fly, a helicopter that kind of sucks, but now you can go across a bridge. He can swim. That's a new perk, I believe in, too. He could swim in Vice City. But the whole fun of it still is getting the coolest guns, rampaging, killing everyone you can, getting the cops to follow you, getting the military on you, getting close to death, then putting in the no stars cheat code and going about your day. That's the fun of it. Oh, and they added strip clubs. They added strip clubs in Vice City, and you can still bang hookers. The animation's a little bit better. So now let's keep going. Let's keep going with this, Dave, because now you go into San Andreas and you are CJ, who is a gangster, grows up. He's not a gangster, actually. He grows up in the hood. He's a black kid, seems like a typical, pretty nice black kid, but he's in a rough area. Cops pick on him because he's black. You know, no one growing up that didn't play GTA San Andreas won't remember, come on, Officer Tampani. Like, that was just a thing that you heard in the game. And the cutscenes and the story was a little bit deeper there, but you got to make choices more in that game. Could you be buff CJ? Could you be skinny CJ? Could you be fast? Could you do this? And the story certainly touches a little more on some of the racial issues in the city life. 100%. It definitely gives you more of a story, more of a perspective. The race riots in LA were recreated. They did some shit in there, but it was still fucked up. You could still walk into areas and get insane racial jokes. You could still walk around. You could still get hookers. You could still bang hookers. You could still go to strip clubs. You could still kill. You could still do all this shit. And if you walk into a wrong area, just because you were a certain gang, they would fuck you up. That was just how the game went. It was the dregs of the city. Oh, and I have to mention that one of my favorite quotes comes from Grand Theft Auto 3 when you're going through the hick town and one of the guys just yells, "My mother's my sister." So it's like, it's Grand Theft Auto. Oh, we're going to keep going because then you go into Grand Theft Auto 4, like David says, you're Nico Bellic. You are an Eastern European immigrant that is a part of, I believe, it's not are they Russian? Is Nico Russian?
Serbian, I want to say.
Serbian, yes.
I believe
he's Serbian. A Serbian gangster. And he has a reputation for being one of the most ruthless fucking gangsters around. And you learn more and more about his past and more as people come in. And like David said, he's the first legitimate character. CJ is different. He's not trying to redeem himself. CJ seems like he's fairly innocent and he's just trying to get through the world as a black kid in an inner city. That's kind of Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Nico is a guy that's a bad dude trying to redeem himself. It's kind of what it is. And again, same things though. You kill, you're ruthless. And I guess the end of the story, Nico's still kind of a shithead, but he gets with a nice girl and he's trying to be better. So you can kind of see the turn, I guess, where Grand Theft Auto is trying to maybe make better stories. But I believe in the fifth one, you're three guys that are just working jobs. Your whole purpose is to work jobs and make money. You're criminals. The three of them are just straight up criminals. One's kind of a dirtbag, one's kind of well put together, and the other one's like a nerd. Like, I think that's kind of just the three dynamics. Don't get me, if I'm wrong, you can correct me. But the whole dynamic of the game has always been you play the game to drive fast, to kill people, to drive cool cars, to shoot cool guns, to fly around. I remember one of the funniest things about Grand Theft Auto 4 is they had this extremely tall building. It kind of seemed like the Chrysler Building or even the Empire State. And you would just go up there and you just jump the fuck off of it. For no reason. And everyone did this. And you would just watch Nico fucking flail to his death. And he would just fall and die. That's it. That was it. That's what you do with Grand Theft Auto. There's not much more depth than that. So for them to now try and come in and say that Grand Theft Auto needs to be anything more. Here's the thing. If you want to add a cool story, you want to make it a more fleshed out story. I don't know what you're going to do with Bonnie and Clyde. Bonnie and Clyde, they have a romance, but they're one of the most, they're known murderers. They're known killers. Like, you could go so far with making them good people, I guess. Like, I don't know what the fuck their redeeming qualities are, but I mean, I don't understand. If it's not broke, don't fix it. But what we see with wokeism is if it's not broke, make it LGBTQ. Like, I don't know what the fuck the point is.
Well, and the thing is that I could see them. I mean, Bonnie and Clyde's story, they have to be people obviously robbing, killing, and doing all these things. They have to be, at least for a part of it. But the main issue is here, and like you said, it's the environment of GTA. The stories, yeah, they can be cool at times, but the environment of GTA is what made the game. the fact that the whole city is your playground and everyone in that city is saying something ridiculous or being outrageous person. GTA radio, you could actually listen to GTA radio.
Yep.
Like you could sit there and you could listen to music, but you could also listen to the talk radio and GTA radio, and it's hilarious. And some of it's even like informative of like what the hell is happening in this city. Like, how is it this bad in this city? And that's the thing is when you're trying to get rid of, and I'm mainly sticking on the quote unquote punching down, because this is something that I've always had an issue with, especially with the thought of punching down, because that means you actually see yourself as higher than someone else, which, okay, if that's how you feel, then that's how you feel, I guess. But I kind of think that most people can actually take something other than me ruining their life because apparently I'm superior. But the whole point of GTA and the people in that city, in that environment, is they do not care about you. If they have the thought that they're superior to you, they will punch down. That like almost everyone in that city does it. There's very little good people in the city in GTA. Very little. Because if you bump into someone as your character, you might be fighting them very soon. That's what made like Nico's girlfriend such a thing that he found, because like she's like the only good person in the city. Like and there's no one else.
Fun fact about redeeming Nico, he has like 4 or 5 girlfriends, and there's always scenes where you're looking outside the house and hearing the girl moan and saying Nico's name as he's fucking her. So this a redeemable game. And I want to get into something else, Dave, that you were kind of saying, but I want to jump in real quick with, I was looking up GTA 6 and I found this tweet, and I looked into this guy, Synth Potato, and in parentheses, Amir. Apparently he's a writer for Rockstar Intel, which talks about Rockstar games, RD Online News, which is Rockstar Red Dead, and GTA Online News. So he's a writer about Grand Theft Auto. He or she. I don't know if he doesn't, no pronouns, so I have no idea. Let's read what he has to say, or they have to say. People saying Rockstar is done for because they decided to not make fun of marginalized groups in GTA 6 is insanity. Rockstar wasn't the best because it was edgy. Anyone can write an edgy game. Rockstar gave us iconic emotional stories. The satire was never the point. And they continue. Quote, oh my God, SJWs, they've gone woke, unquote. People seem to miss that Rockstar was always progressive. San Andreas is a game where you play as a black man born into a gang life. There's a ton of commentary in that game regarding black culture, racism, and LA riots are recreated too. And someone commented down here that people aren't paying attention that GTA went woke. They've been making fun of Republicans for years, yada, yada. And I got to comment back to that person, Dr. McKino, whoever the hell they are. Republicans can take jokes. We know that there's a bunch of fucking idiots on the right that are insane and that deserve to get made fun of. The difference is the leftists cannot take jokes against their psychos that deserve to get made fun of. And on top of that, going back to Synth Potato, which, not gonna lie, it's actually a pretty funny name, and their picture, I think, is like a potato. Oh, it's a Red Dead Redemption with a potato in the guy's face. It's actually kind of cool. But your comment's stupid. It's just not smart, because one of the funniest parts of Grand Theft Auto is marginalized groups making fun of each other. And as David said, when they would talk down to each other, they said the most ridiculous shit. And it was funny. It was all meant to be funny, and it was meant to be a satire on racism. Obvious satire on how people can be belligerent and making fun of those who are belligerent in their racism or in their hatred. And if you had half a brain, you understood this. It's not punching down. And the thing is, only leftists think this way, Dave. Only people on the left think this way. They need to save colored people because colored people can't take jokes or can't take offense and be okay and go about their day. It's incredible.
But yet again, this is wrapping back to what I said in the beginning about this. It is the same frame of mind that those in the times of GTA 3 and Vice City and San Andreas, same frame of mind that they had an issue with those games as well. They thought it would affect people in some kind of violent way or in some kind of emotional way that you can't be putting this out. It's the same exact frame of mind. It's just a different way of putting it. That's all it is. That is all it is. And it's just hysterical to watch these people not be able to look in the mirror and see how unself-aware they are. And they have because I guarantee you right now, these are the same people that are like, yeah, I mean, I can't believe in GTA. Like back in those days, all those Karens would always complain about all the death in GTA 3 and stuff like that. It's the same exact people that will complain about these things and say it's a good thing that they're taken out. You're the same person, my guy. You're the same exact person.
I also can't wait till this gets a mass beta test and it comes out and people fucking hate it because it's what happened with Batwoman. We talked about this earlier. Batwoman got canceled. I think because DC's probably just fucking stupid. There's no reason to make a Batwoman movie. Honestly, it's not necessary. She's not a popular enough character. Nobody fucking cares about Batwoman. But I feel like this is going to get destroyed in beta testing. I really do.
We'll see what happens. I'm not going to go too deep into this because this is just a whole gaming thing. This isn't even about like wokeism at all. But for me, especially, coming out maybe 2024, possibly later, because they're not certain, is yet again, the same exact thing that's an issue with a lot of games is that they think too big. They try to do too much shit and they don't actually make anything concise. It'll come out. It'll be buggy as hell. And it might get better later. But is it worth $60 no, it's more than $60
plus
it's more
DLCs
than $60 for a new game now.
For in order to
it's
get
more than 60.
That's
it's
incredible.
More than 60 for a new game now. So that's incredible. The thing. Is it worth that much money?
No.
Maybe to those who are terminally online and play online a lot. Maybe. I don't know. Because GTA 5, the only reason why it's still running as long as it is because of online and because all they do is make online stuff. And people just play the hell out of that.
What's incredible to me is they said they started working on this in the article near 2014. So you're saying it takes about 10 years. I understand the map is huge, but you have a base because this is now the third time I think they're bringing Vice City back as a base area. What is taking, you have a base, you want to add more, fine. You want to make the graphics better, fine. I'm not a dev. I don't know what goes into that. So if somebody's a dev and can tell me I'm fucking wrong, that base means nothing. I might be. They might have to start from scratch because they want to do some different things. But at the same time, you've had it since 2014. And like you said, Dave, there's an issue with also, I think, in the gaming world, these companies like this, these places that have these high expectations, they start to put out these little treats, these little pieces of candy about their game. And then it gets hyped and then it gets hyped and then it gets hyped. And then all of a sudden they put out an arbitrary deadline because they said 2024. The gaming world is going to be fucking going crazy in 2 years. They are going to be anticipating this. And whether GTA 6 is ready or not, they're going to have to put out a game. It happened to Cyberpunk. This is exactly what happened to Cyberpunk. They put something out about 2 years earlier. They said they were going to have it ready, and then it was not ready. It was too ambitious. It wasn't ready. It looks like GTA 6 may get there because, number one, what are they going to do? They're going to curtail a bunch of their jokes. So they're going to be fucking arguing over what's appropriate because who knows where we're going to be in 2024, what's going to be okay, what isn't. They're going to be debating constantly about what jokes are offensive, what jokes aren't. If it's not offending just white conservatives, then it's not going to be okay. And it's going to be a dull, stupid game. Some of it's going to be funny because, again, like I said, some conservatives deserve to be made fun of. They absolutely do. Some people on the right deserve it. But is it going to be playable? And that's going to be the question. Is it going to be a playable game? Is it going to be a fun game? Because I think we're also losing. These games need to be fucking fun. Mm-hmm. If it's not a fun game, if all you accomplish is we're not hurting people's feelings, then did you make a fun game?
Well, and the thing is one of my, I have a friend named Scott, and he plays a bunch of games too. And he enjoyed the new God of War. And I don't want to get too much on these tangents, but he enjoyed the new God of War, but he didn't love the game for the main reason being is that sometimes it was way too damn slow and it was just boring to him, which is completely understandable. Because the thing is
terrible for God of War because God of War is high-paced, fun, puzzle-solving game.
Yeah. But this God of War was much more storytelling. I love the game. Much more storytelling aspect, but I also wanted to sit down and play that. But he didn't want to play that, and that's completely understandable. He likes to actually be doing something in a game most of the time, I completely understand.
You also sat down and watched me play the Metal Gear Solids forever. So for you, watching slow games is not a problem.
I'm used to it. That's fine. It doesn't matter to me. But I completely understand people wanting to say, like, I don't want something that's moving at this pace because it's not doing anything. It's a game. I need having fun.
If it's labeled God of War, you expect certain things out of that label and out of that brand.
Exactly. And that seems to be an issue with newer games. A slight issue, because you do have a markup on storytelling aspect on some of these newer games. They're brilliantly written and environmentally amazing, especially the way that they're telling things by look and not hear. It's very well done. But I mean, that is a slight issue that AAA titles need to think about, because most of the time it's AAA titles that are doing this.
I feel like,
but the bigger issue for me, and maybe you can call me an old man for thinking this way, but I grew up with local play. I grew up with playing on the couch with people. And believe me, I enjoy online play. I played the hell out of Gears of my friends, Left 4 Dead, like so many games, Call of Duty. I played them all, like online. I love it. But the way that we have built this terminally online play of a lot of AAA titles, for me, I do feel like it's hurting gaming, for the main reason being is that a lot of companies would rather focus on doing their online play so they could get you to spend more money on just random skins or random nonsense, or even some pay to play stuff, which usually gets called out, but still happens.
Yeah.
It's ruining a lot of gaming. At least in my eyes, it is ruining some parts of gaming, because they're only going for the cash grab online and kind of leaving everything else about gaming on the backside. I mean, I could go on,
and that's exactly where it is,
Madden,
Dave,
and how it's ruined Madden. But
Madden's terrible. But we will be saved though, and I think we'll close out with this. We're about to be saved in gaming because the new open world Pokemon, your Pokemon companion, is a motorcycle. So
it's pretty great.
It's an open world Pokemon where a legendary is a motorcycle.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, I want people to understand that I'm not trying to say like, oh, all gaming's awful now. I obviously it's not what I'm trying to say, because I mean, there's plenty of good AAA titles. There's plenty of really good indie titles. There's a plethora of good indie titles. There's a plethora of things to play.
And let me tell you one thing quickly though, Dave, because indie isn't indie in the gaming world anymore. I refuse to call it indie anymore, because a lot of these indie creators were at the AAA development places and they left because they fucking hated it. And now they're creating indie titles with the quality of AAA development quality, maybe not the graphics and maybe not the ability of some of these AAAs because they have millions of dollars. But these aren't people that just opened up a book or what is your bundle site that you love? You can give them a plug.
Humble Bundle, because I know they have a I can't remember what
a game development bundle
subscription.
Yeah,
they have a subscription. I don't remember the name is, but you could subscribe each month you pay and you get like 12 games a month.
Exactly. Like 12 but this isn't like a Humble Bundle person that picked up a thing about how to develop games and now they're putting it on Steam, which you can do, which you're able to do. Steam's awesome for that. But these are people that went to school for this shit, that are very good at it, that have worked on some of the best games around, and then either left for whatever reason, got tired of it, didn't like all the hours that they had to work. But now they see an outlet with Steam and they can either put their game out for free and get a lot of pub, or they could sell their game for $1.99, $2.99, get 1 million fucking downloads and make money that way. And that's the thing. So I don't consider indie anymore in the gaming world. I don't call it that anymore. It's like,
it's still indie.
It's professional, but not. That's what I'm going to call it.
Still
professional, but not. I don't call it
still
that.
Independent. I feel like independent's fine because it's not, you could say it's not amateur.
Yes. Okay.
I think that's more.
I think of indie as amateur though. To me, indie and amateur are kind of synonymous.
They always understandable, but that's understandable, but I just feel like indie's still correct.
Yeah, I guess. But yeah, we got off on a tangent. But overall, I'm hoping that maybe by 2024, some people will stop being stupid and we can kind of get a real GTA game out of this. I'm hoping it's overhyped too. I'm hoping this is overblown. And I'm hoping we get
truthfully, I hope it's a good game. But from what it's coming out, and I mean, if you haven't noticed, we really didn't touch on the woman being a lead character because it really does. Like I said, it doesn't matter unless there's politics involved in it. But That's the only time it would matter. But the issue is, and I think it's perfectly fine to point out as a GTA fan, that the issue is it seems like you're taking out the GTA part of GTA. You're taking out the scummy part that was always a part of GTA.
Grand Theft Auto, a felony in all states of the United States. The game was predicated on carjacking and killing. That is the game's base. Everything else really doesn't matter. Just give us a fun sandbox where we can kill people, kill cops, kill everybody, fuck hookers, go to strip clubs. And again, you know what? You want to put in your political commentary all you want. Just give us some borderline racist shit and let it be funny. Don't just make it stupid. That's the difference too. Think about GTA. It was pretty blunt sometimes, but it was always funny. Even their cutscenes where they were doing dumb shit with overtly racist things going on. It was always so over the top. It was funny. Their characters were all satires on real human beings. And that's what I hope they keep here. Again, listen, wokist, progressivist, make fun of every conservative you want. Just make it funny. Honestly, I don't fucking care. Make fun of all of us. Just make it funny. Make it on the nose. Because your sense of humor sucks. None of you are funny. That's the problem. None of you are funny when you make fun of us. There are very few. Bill Maher is great. And I know the people on the left go, oh, Bill Maher, he's on the right now. Bill Maher has always hated the right. He's always hated Republicans. But he's always been really funny. Jon Stewart. Don't hold him at what he did with the Psycho with Jack Posobiec, which they had a very nice coming together. But Jon Stewart on The Daily Show always made fun of the right, but he was funny. Stephen Colbert used to be funny. Now he's just a woke idiot. Trevor Noah is kind of towing that line more, which I like sometimes. When he's talked about the border wall, do you see the clip, Dave, where he talked about the border wall being filled in?
No, but it
did make me laugh.
Trevor Noah, I've never thought he was very funny.
He's not, but
no matter what he's done.
This one was kind of funny where he's like, it only matters when Republicans might be breaking into the Senate because the Senate got that area is a Democrat in the Senate. It was a kind of funny thing because he was making fun of how Democrats now want a wall for safety. So it wasn't bad, but still, that's the thing. People on the right, most of the time, don't give a fuck if you make fun of us. Just be funny about it. Just be funny. So again, in the end, Dave, we know this game's going to suck. This game's going to suck. It's going to suck like She-Hulk's going to suck. It's going to suck like Thor is going to suck. Thor, fun fact, Thor has the worst so far rating for any Marvel movie of all time, the new Thor. The worst. Doctor Strange, 6th worst of all time. She-Hulk is going to be terrible. They emasculate the Hulk.
But
it's going to be
what's going to be great?
Oh, boy, what's going to be great?
Rings of Power. Oh, it's going to be great. It's going to be
I need another beer. With that, everybody, talking about terrible. We are going to go. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Dave, do you have anything else to say?
I'm holding out hope that it's still at least a good game. I really am. I mean, I'm probably not going to buy it either. I didn't even play GTA 5, so I'm probably not going to buy it either way. I don't know. We'll see what funds are like and whether I'm playing a lot of games and at that time. But either way, I'm holding out hope that it's at least pretty good. It's at least pretty good, but I don't know. We'll see.
This game could be redeemable if you can kill somebody with the giant dildo like they did in Saints Row.
Saints Row, yes.
Yeah.
Saints Row.
Saints Row, if they pull a Saints Row and you can fuck somebody up with the dildo, then I'm cool. Then that's great. I will just run around beating the shit out of people with dildos. That's cool with me. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. I appreciate it. Hope none of you hate this game. I hope it's if you like the game, if you play it eventually when it comes out, let us know. Maybe I'll buy it. Maybe I won't. I haven't played a game in like 6 years. But anyway, thank you so much for listening. Like, share, follow, subscribe, rate 5 stars on Spotify and iTunes. Spread this word of mouth. Go find us on the socials. I appreciate everyone for listening. As always, Dave, say bye to the lovely people.
Goodbye, everyone.
So long, everybody.